We've talked about some of your horrible
Yes.
movie-going experiences, which were pretty bad.
Really bad. Almost fought like a 50-year-old biker dude in a leather jacket
Jeez.
and assless chaps. I don't need to do this.
Were they assless? Oh my god! I don't remember that part.
I don't remember if he was wearing chaps, but in my mind, he's probably decked out in just pure leather and stuff. Welcome back to the Hub on Hollywood podcast. I'm your co-host, James Rojas.
And I'm your other co-host, Jamie Blanco, the weird one.
On this, we're both weird. We're both weird like that and cool like that too.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
what's also cool is this week's episode, because we are both very happy to welcome two guests, both Massachusetts natives, doing big things in the world of national television and film. Comedian and actor Lenny Clarke talking about his experience on the new NBC comedy Extended Family, a show set in Boston, filmed in California, but the heart and soul is of Boston.
We'll forgive him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Director, writer, and Cambridge native Max Isaacson premiering his first feature film, Paradise, right here in Boston at the AMC Boston Common. One of the most iconic film composers of all time coming to the Garden. And Madam Web already swinging onto streaming services. Not a good sign at all. But first, Jamie, a troubling new survey that I wouldn't say shook me to the core, but it is very representative of the state of the movie theater going experience. A new survey shows that 2/3 of U.S. adults would rather wait to watch movies on streaming services than to go watch it on the big screen at the movie theater. Does this shock you? Does it surprise you? Does this make sense? What do you think?
I think it makes sense, which is kind of sad. Well, if you think about the world, too, post-COVID, I think we're still kind of coming back to normal from the upheaval of the last 4 years. And I think that in that time, streaming has flourished, exploded, etc. It's a matter of convenience. It's a matter of cost. People are waiting. People are just like, well, it'll be in my home in no time anyway. I don't have to go and rent it anywhere. I don't have to go buy it, download it. Like, it'll just be on streaming. And I think that is concerning, right? For the theater industry, which we've talked about ad nauseum here on the Hub on Hollywood. So I wouldn't say that I'm surprised, but maybe a little sad about that. A little disheartened.
I would say so.
Because something is definitely being lost in the experience of theater going, and I don't want theaters to disappear. What do you think, James?
I was going to say, though, not everyone agrees, apparently. This new poll by Harris X, exclusive for IndieWire, found that 34% of U.S. adults prefer to watch movies in the theaters, meaning 2/3 would rather wait for them to be released on streaming. And at the moment, right now, we're looking at, they kind of broke this down into several ways or reasons why, factors why people have decided to skip the big screen experience. Now, for those who still believe that watching the movie on the big screen, 59% of them said that, watching it on the silver screen is the main factor of why they still go. Also, the quality of the surround sound system is a big factor. Also, escaping distractions at home. That's actually one of my biggest reasons why I love going to the movie theater. Admittedly, I love watching movies at home, but I am guilty and do have a problem with keeping my phone down. Same thing was keeping my laptop closed. And so I love being able to devote all my attention to movies with zero distractions, other than that popcorn or soda or candy. Other than that, I want my focus to be right there on the screen. And so, so those are some big reasons for why people still go. As for the people who... Yeah.
Oh, you know why I still go? Because pain feels good in a place like that. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Heartbreak feels good.
Heartbreak. Exactly. It's the experience, right? Like you're saying, you get sucked in.
Yeah. Now, for those who prefer the streaming services, at home, they say, they say the cost of concessions is a big factor. 42% of respondents said that the cost of concessions was a big reason for why they prefer to stay at home. Again, you don't have to charge or pay extra to walk to your fridge to get something. Very, very cheap. Also, the recliners were not, a large, I think, am I reading this right? While those recliners were a pretty solid motivator, a larger percentage of people love the comfort of viewing things at home. One thing that people don't like about the movie theater experience is the distractions of other members of the audience. And I will say that's one of my biggest pet peeves in the movie theater, is talking, is cell phone usage. And so I do admit that when you have other people ruining that experience for you, like that X factor that you can't control, that's a big reason for skipping the movie theater, in my opinion. However, I feel like that doesn't happen often enough to sway me, to keep me from going and walking through those doors.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about some of your horrible
Yes.
movie-going experiences, which were pretty bad.
Really bad. I almost fought like a 50-year-old biker dude in leather jacket
Jeez.
and assless chaps. I don't need to do this.
Were
right
they
now.
assless? Oh my god! I don't remember that
I
part.
don't remember if he was wearing chaps, but in my mind, he was probably decked out in just pure leather and stuff. But yeah, no one has time for
the
that.
money. The money part, though, that's, I think, where I agree the most. Gosh, it didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be that you would have to go and spend $6. The last time I went to the movie theater, I got some French fries, I got some snacks, and I got a drink. The drink itself is $7.
Yeah.
Just for the soda. That's where they really
bucket of
get
soda,
you.
though?
No, I mean this was like a regular size. This wasn't like even the large. This was just like the regular, which is still enough to that everybody that you're with can drink from it, like it's like a trough, but still $7 just for a drink. And so
it's a free refill. Sometimes they offer free refills, so you can kind of double dip. But still, it's a lot of soda. You shouldn't be drinking that much soda to justify the cost. That's ridiculous.
But if you're going with the family, it just it hits you. It hits you in the wallet.
Expensive soda, and we're pouring it in each individual red Solo cup for you guys. I think that's a good strategy. But other folks, they were saying inconvenient travel, travel time to the theater, traffic, parking, that's a big factor for not going, selection of films that are showing, inconvenient theater locations, inconvenient showtimes, and seat selection. I'm an AMC movie stubs member, like the elite VIP.
Oh wow!
And so
you get the red carpet.
No big deal, no flex. but one thing I like about AMC is that you can't reserve those seats, so you can get the best spot, and you can play around with that, and so you're not sitting in the very front of the row watching Dune and big worms corner lip or something. And so
it's dedication, though. The people who did sit in the front seat for opening weekend, and you've got giant Timothée Chalamet. The Sam West looked wild from that angle. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but that's not for me. So I want to avoid that at all costs. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. This poll, this survey. There are definitely movies that I would definitely wait to watch not because of I don't want to go to the movie theater, but they don't look that good enough to put in that effort to go there. So I'd rather wait. If it's like a new Disney movie that's like a live action remake or whatever, something that's not important, I can wait and just watch it on my couch, because I don't think maybe the quality of the movie would justify all the travel time and the concessions and all that jazz. So I don't know. That's where I sit. I still believe in it. I still, like Nicole Kidman, believe in the magic of cinema.
Right. Absolutely, as do I, as do I, James. But sometimes, and this is what I normally do, is if there's a movie, maybe not necessarily that isn't in my genre, but if there was like a bad movie that everybody was talking about, I'm like, you know what? It's not worth me going out there and spending $60 to go see it in the theater, but I still really want to see it, to see just what all the buzz was about. And that's sort of what I'm planning to do with Madam Web, that has just come out onto streaming, and we'll be talking about that one in a little bit later. But with movies like that, I want to see what all the hate's about. What all the
I can wait. I can wait for that. But one thing that you should now wait for, and that you should watch at home on your couch, is the new NBC comedy Extended Family, starring John Cryer, TV legend himself, Donald Faison from Scrubs, and none other than Boston local local Lenny Clarke, actor, comedian,
Woo!
writer. I had the chance to talk to him about his experience on Extended Family, this new comedy that is almost done with its first season. A lot of fingers are crossed that there will be renewed for a second season and a third and a fourth and a fifth and all that stuff. So
right.
Without further ado, here is my talk with Mr. Lenny Clarke. All right, I am joined by comedian, actor, and writer Lenny Clarke. He is playing John Cryer's father in the new NBC comedy Extended Family. Lenny, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, James, so great to be with you.
I love that you are the representation of Boston, of our area. I need to ask you, again, you play Bobby Kearney on the show. Are you basically like the official consultant for everything Boston? Are you getting asked all these questions constantly of like how to do things, how to say things?
Yeah, how do you say squantum? It's funny because rather than everyone try to do a Boston accent, my accent is so strong it's good enough for everybody, And I mean, it's been a blessing and a curse for me because there have been so many movies. There were 2 movies for the Academy Awards last night, filmed in Boston. Didn't get asked to play in them. And a lot of times they'll have movies in Boston. They'll call me to audition, and I'll go in, and the role says, looking for a Lenny Clarke type. And then I'll audition. They go, no, it's not working out. And I go, I'm Lenny Clarke, you dumb bit. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's funny. So I've watched the episodes of Extended Family. For our listeners, for our viewers, tell me about the show and what makes this family dynamic different than most shows on TV right now.
Well, we have 2-time Emmy winner John Cryer. I play his dad, and Donald Faison from Scrubs, Abigail Simpson from Suits, Sophia Capana is the young girl, and Finn Sweeney plays the young boy, my grandkids. And it's a story about a family that's got divorced with children, and rather than move the kids from week to week, the kids stay in the house and the parents move from week to week. So it's pretty unique. And John's ex-wife falls in love with Trey, who is played by Donald Faison, who owns the Boston Celtics, and the comedy ensues.
As for that comedy, how much input do you get to have in reading the scripts with everybody there? Again, like you must be the kind of guy who like this isn't how I would speak, or maybe somebody from the area would speak. Like, is there much input or back and forth with that?
There's a lot of back and forth with that through the incredible writers that we have on this show. I mean, they are just. The writing staff is amazing, and I try to be as strict to the script as I can. But as you know, over the years of my abuse, and now with the effects of a massive stroke I had a couple of years ago, my memory isn't what it used to be. So I try to get it just right. But there are a lot of times when they'll say, Lenny, would you say it different? Or what word would you use, cooler, or would you use refrigerator? Things like that, because they really want it. They really want it right. And the people that I'm working with, Tom Werner, Wick Grossbeck, and his beautiful wife Amelia, who the story's about, and Mike O'Malley. It's just wow to work with these people. They're all brilliant. And I just feel blessed to be on the show.
And you obviously are no stranger to being in front of the camera and performing in front of a live audience. What has this multi-cam experience been like for you? Not only working in front of that kind of setup, but also on NBC national television weekly. Yeah.
Well, I tell people I'm the second oldest guy on network television, and Tom Selleck's not doing that good. To have a show like this for me at my age, it's incredible. Everyone's young, everyone's hip, and then you got the crazy old grandpa, which I love playing, and it's such a treat to work with such an amazing cast. They're all brilliant actors, and on top of that, they're all wonderful people. It's a joy to go to work.
Yeah, that audience interaction, I'm sure, just like stand-up, you kind of feed off that back and forth, right?
Yes, you're exactly right. Because we have a live audience when we're taping, and there was a couple things uh, that I was saying that I knew the audience wasn't going to go for, and I said to the audience, "Ooh," and I said to John, in between takes, I said, "John, they don't seem to like that." I go, "No, it'll be fine." I go, "Okay," and I did it again. They went, "Ooh," and I go, "John, come on, they're not going for it." So then the network said, "Change that up," and I went, "Great," But everyone between NBC and Lionsgate, the film company that's producing it with them, they're all hands on, and they're all doing the very best to make this the funniest show we can. And it's a great show because the audiences react so positive to it, And I mean, it's a unique situation where the kids stay in one house and the parents move rather than the kids moving around. So it's really interesting concept.
Yeah, the concept is very unique. You don't see it in many other types of shows. And also, again, just the talent that's on this show, yourself included, but you have, sitcom legends and TV legends like John Cryer, like Donald Faison, who've been around the block in this kind of setup before. And so bouncing off of them must be really fun, too.
Donald Faison is his own party. I love that guy. And I love John Cryer. John Cryer he's a genius. I mean, 2-time Emmy winner. And then, of course, Abigail Simpson, who's one of the prettiest girls. Oh, she's so beautiful. She was on Suits. And the two kids, Finn Sweeney and Sophia Campana, incredible actors. And I get such a kick out of working with all of them. And sometimes we get going, and it won't be what's on the page, and they'll go, "Hey, that was pretty good. Keep that." So they're very, very good about us playing the character the way we think we should.
Now, I'm not sure how far in advance you can see this, but I know that, for example, Cheers, when they shot everything over in California, is my understanding, but they shot exterior things over here in Boston. Do you hope that there may be some exterior shots where you may need to be at the Common or at the Garden and bring all that stuff over here?
Oh, would I love that? Yeah, we shoot it on a soundstage in California, and the exteriors are done in Boston. But I would love for us to get the chance to go to Boston and shoot some stuff in the Common, Quincy Market, the Boston Garden, Fenway Park, all of it. It would be a blast.
Excellent. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we get more of that. Let's see. What's your for those who are just catching on to the show and catching up with the season? What do we have in store for the rest of the season? Do you know?
We have a couple of sports celebrities that people will recognize that are going to be in the next couple of shows. If you haven't seen it, you can catch up with it streaming on Peacock, which they didn't have when I first started doing TV. But it's just a show that is a surprise every time you watch it. Stuff you didn't think would happen happens.
Excellent. Well, Lenny, I think that's you hit all the bullet points and everything. Is there anything that I may be forgetting to ask that you think our listeners, our viewers would find really cool about this show?
You can see the fun that we're having while we're shooting it. It's not, we're acting as the characters, but we're having a blast doing it. And I think if the viewer gives us a chance, we're going to hook you in, and you'll like it. It'll be must-see TV.
Absolutely. So you can catch Extended Family on NBC as well as on Peacock, and a lot of great stuff, and a lot of again funny moments, and the interesting family dynamic. It's something that you will not see on any other show on TV right now. Lenny, thank you so much for joining us.
James, thanks for having me on your great program, and I hope to do it again with you sometime.
Absolutely. And again, a big shout out, big thank you to Lenny Clarke. Again, you can catch Extended Family on NBC Weekly and on Peacock. check it out. Now, also, one thing that I really would love to check out is this new tour that is stopping in Boston that has none other than the iconic film composer of our generation, of every generation, really, Hans Zimmer. He is going on this tour, North America tour, and one of his stops of many cities along the way is Boston. He's coming to the Garden, and if you've watched any movie, really any big movie over the past 20, 30 years, you know Hans's work. He is responsible for some of the best scores, including in The Lion King, The Dark Knight trilogy, Dune, Inception, Gladiator. My favorite, Pirates of the Caribbean. That score is one of the best scores ever. I think, in my opinion, Pirates of the Caribbean, masterpiece. But that'd be great to go see him perform there. Yeah.
Well, we should absolutely plan on that. Hans Zimmer. I was going to say, Chef's Kiss, right? But would it be Pirate's Kiss? For Pirates of the Caribbean, but of course, I mean Lion King.
Yeah.
Do you do that with your baby?
I have done that. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I think you have
holding baby.
It's a requirement. Yeah.
It is sort of a requirement.
You have to do it at a Dunkin', though. If you live in the Boston region, you have to do it outside of a Dunkin' Donuts. Then they are an official New Englander, I think.
Okay. Do you get free donuts?
No, they just kick you out, actually. They don't like
missed
that
opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Talking about a missed opportunity of a lifetime, let's talk about Madam Web, because this news surprised me a bit.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about Madam Web and how poorly it had done in the box office. It's now on streaming, which
Crazy.
is... Yeah, it's still in the theater.
It's
still in the theater, and it's already moving on to the streaming services. They're trying to recoup some of the money, but really, this film is one of the worst, one of the biggest busts, one of the biggest comic book movie history busts. So it has only grossed about $42 million so far in the domestic box offices. It's under $100 million worldwide. And critics have just been eviscerating this film. It's got a 12% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from over 200 people, 200 of their certified reviewers. We talked last episode about Dakota Johnson coming out and just piling on the hurt on her own film, and where she felt that it went wrong. All of the cooks that were in the kitchen with Sony sort of meddling with the story, and so it's no surprise that it has that it's doing so rotten, right?
Yeah.
Rotten Tomato, but it's on streaming services right now. What's that, James?
Did you catch the shout out during the Oscars last week? John Mulaney?
I did, when he was talking about the most iconic movie quotes.
Yeah.
and threw in
without sound, we wouldn't get things like I forget the other quotes he gave.
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. If you build it, they will come. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died. So funny. And apparently that quote is not even in the movie itself. That was just for the trailer. But I love that swipe at the Oscars. So good. And also, I think Sydney Sweeney, who was in the movie, she was on SNL, I think 2 weeks ago or so as the host. And she mentioned, like, oh, you may recognize me from Euphoria, or you may recognize me from these other shows, not from Madam Web. And so I think it's just fun. They just you see the actors, no shame, totally, owning how bad it is. Again, not their faults at all.
Yeah.
But just owning the fact that it is not a good movie. So, not sure if you want to watch Madam Web at home, but Jamie, one movie that I think you should definitely stream is the new movie Paradise, that is directed by Cambridge native Max Isaacson. Paradise, I watched the film, and it is really, really fun and surprisingly emotional at parts too. But basically, Paradise is about a young woman named Ella who has a reputation for two things: being a rebellious punk and the fastest gun around. When corrupt officials try to cover up her father's murder, she cuts a swath through this weird tropical island, small town island. And so, again, big pleasure sitting down with Max Isaacson, the director and writer of this film. He stopped by the iHeart Studios to talk about it. And without further ado, this is our conversation with Max Isaacson. I'm sitting here with Max Isaacson. He is a filmmaker, director, and writer, and he is back home, and also a Cambridge native.
Oh, yeah.
And you are back home to premiere your latest film, Paradise. Thank you so much for joining us in studio to talk about it.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So we'll talk about Paradise in a second, but as I mentioned, Cambridge native. You literally just got off a plane right now. What's it like being back home?
It's a little chillier than LA, which is nice. It gets your blood pumping, keeps you alive. I remember, it's getting warmer though. It's getting warmer. It's weird. You come back every couple of years and you're like, I think we're melting. I think it's all falling apart. But it's great. It's nice to be home. I'm really excited to bring the movie home. I want to show it to all my people that I grew up with. I can't wait to show my parents. I'm slightly terrified, but yeah, I get to bring it back to like the movie theaters I went to and do that whole thing and be that person. That's very surreal and strange and exciting. So it feels nice.
We mentioned it a second ago, but the love of film. What was your inspiration? What inspired you? At what age? And what was that kind of clicked? Like, what? I love movies. I love the filmmaking process. When did that start?
Yeah, way too early. Way too early. I mean, I think every kid, when they're watching children's films, they become obsessed. They memorize lines. They do this stuff, or at least every kid I've ever met. But really, the click moment was I was like 6 years old. My uncle showed me Alien. Way too young. But I was like, this is amazing. Like, look at this monster. Look at this messed up ship. Look at this world. I mean, look at these people dying. Yeah. This is like gross, like wet, gooey movie. It's masterfully made. Look, Alien's amazing, but that turned something on in my brain, and I was like, you can do anything here. And then I think the next big moment was my mom showing me Lawrence of Arabia. I think I was like 10 or 11. And she was like, you're not going to like it. You're going to be bored. And I was like, I don't know. And we sat down and I was riveted. And it's still my favorite movie. Lawrence of Arabia is my favorite movie in the world. And again, same thing. The scope became unlimited. You had access to anything if you made a movie. And I wanted access to everything, right? I wanted to be able to create worlds. I wanted to be able to create people and have them tell stories. And that's amazing feeling, and I think when I was younger, it was probably egotistical and was like, I want to be a little god, ha ha ha. And now I think it's, I want to share with people, you want to share something, whatever it is that you want to put out in the world. And that can keep you going for the rest of your life.
Did you, growing up over here in Cambridge in the Boston area, did you have that feeling where like, I have to get out of here if I want to be a filmmaker, go to Hollywood, go to Los Angeles? Did that feeling ever exist in you?
No, not for film. I wanted to travel around. I wanted to live in different places. Just to see them and be in them. I lived in New York for a long time, for about a decade, and then I moved to LA. And I really liked traveling during that time as well. And I just like new things. I like being in odd places. I also really love being in extreme places. I'm not very good at being in extreme places, but I like being in them. I like deserts. I like the Arctic. I like these strange mountains, and if I can find a way of getting there without dying, then great. I think that's part of what drew us to making Paradise in a crazy jungle. But no, I never felt like I had to escape to make movies. I think you can make movies anywhere. And you can make movies here easy now. People are making movies here, which is great. They were not doing it so much when I was younger, but Yeah, you can do it anywhere. You just find your people, you drag them out, you press them into labor, and you go. But no, that was never a stumbling block for me.
And I swear we will get into Paradise, but when it comes to you said filmmaking everywhere and filmmaking here, we in the past couple years ago we have this Massachusetts film tax credit, and since then we're seeing this like new boom or this new renaissance of filmmaking happening here. When can we expect some works of yours? Right back here in Cambridge and in the Boston area.
I have a couple of things that I wrote for back home for sure. I would love to get back here and make a movie. It would make me so happy. Look, Boston and the greater Boston area have a feeling and a sort of energy and life and design to them that is, at least for me, really deeply unique and grounded in a certain way. I think a lot of Massachusetts filmmakers feel that way. You see a lot of them come home and do stuff because they sort of can't escape that gravity. And I would love to come back. I've got 3 projects I'm trying to get off the ground now. We'll see which one clicks. I think 2 of them could be shot in Massachusetts without even blinking.
Well, the one that you have finished and is ready to hit the silver screen, Paradise. And so tell me about this one, because this was not filmed in Massachusetts. It was filmed in Hawaii. Beautiful, gorgeous place. Apparently it had its challenges, but for those who want to learn more, what is Paradise about and how did this come to be? You are a co-writer for it too.
I co-wrote the story. Tony Borden wrote the script and I co-wrote the story with him. Paradise is a tropical punk western. We shot it in Hilo, Hawaii, the rainiest city in America. It rains about 270 days a year there, which was a slight surprise. I was told it was rainy there, but I didn't quite understand what that meant. When someone on the Big Island of Hawaii tells you it's rainy, that means a different thing than when you're from LA. Like, I live in LA. I'm like, it's rainy. That means it rains once every 6 months. And they're like, it rains every single day.
Put Seattle to shame, yeah.
Oh my God. I know everyone was like, where's in Seattle? I was like, you don't know. But it was beautiful. We were shooting in rainforests. We were shooting in these beautiful spots. And the movie is about, it's a revenge story. It's about a young woman who's trying to find justice in a small kind of modern set, but sort of cowboy town. And many things go wrong and very few things go right, as is the way with all stories of revenge. And she has to kind of come to terms with her violent acts and the violent acts of other people. We wanted to make something that took a lot of the ideas of Western tropes, put them in our modern era, asked questions about colonialism, about frontiersmanship, about how far west can you go? What are the frontiers? And what do the frontiers do? Because the honest truth is, most Westerns are stories of white colonial power imposed upon land and people with a gun. And we've been living with the fallout of that for now centuries. And so we wanted to tell a story that, although not overtly about that, is about that. You can see it in who the characters are, how they act, how they treat each other, certainly. And what the town is, what the makeup of this town is, who has power in this town, who doesn't have power, who's not allowed to have power, who's shunted to the side. And so that really interested us as a kind of baseline for the story of saying, okay, if we're going to make a Western, we can't continue this same storytelling tradition. We have to start talking about it in a different term. And that set us down a long path.
And was Hawaii always the envisioned setting for this?
No, it was always an island. Oh, no, that's not true. Once upon a time, it was in Texas, but that was a decade ago, so we don't have to pretend that's real. It was always on an island. Paradise, the town in the movie, we never explicitly say we're in Hawaii. We say we're in Paradise. We say, what town we're in. We know we're on an island. We know it's tropical. But I wanted to sort of make it an amalgam of places. My mother is from Cuba, and so I wanted to bring in some Caribbean influences. I wanted to touch on some of those things. Obviously, we were in Hawaii. There's no denying Hawaii. Hawaii is also amazing. And Hawaii has a deep-seated cowboy culture.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. The Paniolo culture there has been around since the 1850s. And so they know cowboying as good as anybody. They're sort of amazing at it. Crazy cattle farms everywhere. And so we were like, well, we looked around at a million different islands. My God, we looked at Mauritius, we looked at Puerto Rico, we looked at tons of places, anywhere on the world. We looked at Bali, we looked at, but you know, we landed on Hawaii for a number of reasons. Tax credit's good.
Yeah.
We could fly there from LA. Getting cast there was possible. We were shooting right in between Delta and Omicron during COVID. And so we needed to make sure we were in a place that had a low COVID rate and wasn't going to shut down on us. Because a number of these islands, if there was a COVID spike anywhere in the globe, they would just close their borders. And so we needed to know that we could actually make the movie. You know, making the movie helps when you're making the movie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was why we landed on Hawaii.
How did the casting come about?
Yeah, they're from everywhere. So, I mean, huge shout out to my casting directors, Alice Merlin and Stephanie Cole, who like guided me with such kind hands and words through this whole process. I'd never cast this is my first feature film. I've never cast something of this scope before. And they were so good at knowing what it was I was trying to do and helping me get there and knowing who would be great people to talk to. Our casting process was months long. And there were certain people I really wanted to go out to and really wanted to push for. And they did an excellent job of making sure that we could connect with their teams and get them on. But we had a big cast. You know, I think we've got probably about 8 well-built characters. It's a real ensemble movie. You know, it follows a lead, but she is interacting with a world of people. This is not a small crew. So we wanted to, you know, find the right actor for the role. We were really careful about that, of being like, look, we're not just trying to like fill something quickly. You know, we want to be able to take the time and know that we can talk to people and meet with people, go through a real process. But no, they were from everywhere. I mean, Patricia Allison, who plays Ella, is from London. She's, you know, she was in Sex Education. So she came in from the UK. Arjun, who plays Hobbs, is in New York. Tate was in Austin at the time. We have a bunch of Angelinos, certainly. Miles is in Atlanta. But yeah, they're from everywhere. You know, every part of the U.S. and then at least one from abroad. And so yeah, we didn't want to have to keep it local. We wanted to make sure we got the right people that we loved and could bring them out. Mm-hmm. And that meant a lot.
And so for your first feature film, is Boston the first destination to premiere?
We just played in San Jose, so we had our festival premiere at CineQuote in San Jose on Monday, and Boston is the second. You're the first theatrical. You're the first place somebody can buy a ticket at a regular movie theater and go. And yeah, this is the first time it's going to play in front of a regular movie-going audience, which is wow, very exciting and terrifying now that I'm thinking about it as a reality. Yeah, wow, I'm gonna have to cope with that.
Does it feel like a full circle kind of moment?
Yes, yeah, it really does. It feels amazing to bring it home. You know, I set out to go do this job, and I didn't know, you know, it's a job that not everyone ends up doing, even if they dream of it. I think there are a lot of barriers to entry. I think it's a hard thing to do. It's particularly thankless early on. And it feels amazing to have done anything, you know, and to be able to bring something back that I'm proud of and can show people and hang my hat on feels like a lot.
When I first moved over here, I mentioned earlier from Los Angeles, and when I came over here, the people surprised me. I was told that people are just as cold as the weather, which is not true. They are very warm, they are very colorful, and everybody that I run into, many people that I've run into, they feel like characters in a movie. Yeah. And so are any of your, you know, previous works, do you base any of your characters either in this film or any other project that you've worked on like somebody from like Joey from down the street or somebody from that store or anything like that?
Oh yes, I do. No, I mean, you know, they say write what you know, which is sort of a whatever tropey, but yeah, I pull from everybody I know. You know, they're all fascinating. They're all so real and human. You know, and like yes, I love them. Deep shout out to my friends for just being weird and quirky and interesting and giving me infinite fodder, you know, to be like, well, I remember 6 years ago you said something really stupid and funny and I'm going to use that. And yeah, I base characters off of people I know all the time. I I definitely smash people's names together to create characters. Also, I'm sure there are lots of people who are like, oh, no. Why is my name in this movie? No.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, it is. No, it's because I love them.
Yeah.
You never put the people you hate in a movie. No, that's terrible. No, you only put the people you love. But yeah, I do it all the time because they're fun. I mean, especially, look, Boston is a town of, like you said, massive personality. It has no problem wearing itself on its sleeve and being like, look, this is what we are. This is who we are. And that's not a problem for us. For good and for ill, it's big. And so that's what you want in stories. You want people who can be that character, who can be that person. You never want to hide your characters away. And so, yeah, I steal from them all the time.
Awesome. Well, see, so Paradise, it is the first theatrical appearance tonight where people can buy a ticket to watch it. What should folks know for those that hear this and want to go tonight to watch it? And if they aren't able to catch it tonight, where else can they catch Paradise afterwards?
Absolutely. We are playing tonight at the Boston Common AMC at 7:30 p.m. I'll be there doing a Q&A with moderator Sarah Vincent after the film for about 25 minutes, I believe. And if you have any insane or strange or interesting questions for a director, I will happily answer them. We are playing in New York at the AMC Empire 25 tomorrow, and we will be in LA at the AMC Burbank on the 17th. And then we are coming out on Tubi on March 21st. So if you want to stream it at home, you can do that on Tubi starting on the 21st, and it is free, no barrier to entry, and easy for everybody. We want you to watch the movie. We want everyone to watch the movie. We love when people watch movies. So please do.
Well, I love your story because, again, I feel like we are in this renaissance of filmmaking here in Massachusetts. I think stories like yours could inspire the next generation of filmmakers and those that want to be creative. What's your best advice for the younger generation who are from Boston, from Cambridge, from Newton, or where have you, and want to get into this? What would your best advice be for them?
I remember Mark Duplass had a really good line about making movies, and he basically said, he's like, look, the only thing that's going to stop you from making a movie is you not making the movie, right? The tools we have at our disposal nowadays are so amazing, and I know this sounds trite, but like, you can grab your friends and go make a movie, and your first movie doesn't need to be a masterpiece. This is my first feature, but it certainly isn't the first thing I made, and I've made a lot of garbage until I started getting good at my job, and you can go do that, and that should be the thing. You should be seeking joy in your filmmaking, and you should just be throwing yourself into it. I certainly don't believe there's a such thing as an aspiring director. I don't think there's a such thing as an aspiring writer. You are a director. You are a writer. If you're doing the thing, you're doing the thing, right? There's nobody who's like, ooh, I'm an aspiring accountant. No, you're an accountant. It's a job. You go do the job. And I think people beat themselves up and they feel fake and they feel a lot of imposter syndrome. And I don't think that should be allowed to happen to them. I think they should feel like they can go do that and be heartened and empowered. And, if you can take that, and I know teaching yourself how to think about yourself differently is insane. And I'm like, yeah, go just do a thing. Go do the hardest thing in the world. But you can do it. It's not illegal.
Well, I can't wait to see Paradise. And again, as you mentioned, it's premiering tonight at the AMC Boston in front of the first theatrical audience. Also on Tubi, March 21st. So check that out. I can't wait to see your next projects and see those being brought here to Massachusetts, to New England.
I'm gonna bring them back like it's my job. I mean, I want to make more stuff. I want to bring stuff home. I want to make movies here. I want to shoot a movie here so bad.
Well, what's your prime location? Last question. Your prime location, like, where do you love to shoot? Like
here?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So many iconic spots. So many parts of.
I would love to. So Paradise is a tropical punk western, but I have a lot of movies about young punks because when I grew up, the Pit in Harvard Square was like the punk scene, and this was like this was more than 20 years ago. Oh, no. Anyway, it was when I was young. Yeah. I would love to do like a 90s punks movie about the Pit Kids. right outside of what used to be Alamo Pine. I have no idea what's even there anymore, right by the T-Stop in Harvard Square. That whole world and that scene of like young people who were actually quite like gregarious and lovely and kind, but had such kind of rough exteriors and were so kind of othered and set aside and feared in a lot of ways by real establishment pieces of the town. But they existed sort of in concert together, right? That was what that scene in the square was. And they were wonderful to me. I remember they took such good care of me whenever I was being like a weird, wayward kid, and they were such lovely people. So I would love to make a movie about the punk scene here.
Can't wait. Max Isaacson, check out Paradise. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is a pleasure.
And a big thank you once again to Max Isaacson. Check out Paradise, streaming on Tubi, starting March 21st. Jamie, great episode, great interviews, great
amazing
stuff.
Episode.
Yeah, I love it. And so before we get to our final segment, CineQuotes, movie trivia of the night, be sure to follow us. Again, thank you so much for watching, for listening to the Hub on Hollywood podcast. It really means a lot, especially if you give us a rating out there on the interwebs. We are everywhere on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know how long TikTok will survive. Not sure if you heard the news, Jamie, but it's on the firing squad right now. We don't know what its fates will be like soon, but at the moment we are on TikTok at Hub on Hollywood. You can also listen to us on any major podcasting streaming service: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Be sure to give us a great review on Apple Podcasts. It does help us out. And as always, you can always like and subscribe on YouTube. So big thank you once again.
For more interviews like this, and if you are a member of the film making community in New England, we would love to showcase your work as well. Reach out to us here on the Hub on Hollywood. And like James said, like and subscribe, share with your friends, and let's get that spotlight shining bright on everyone here who makes movie magic in New England.
Yeah, and tell your friends. I was doing a story in Cambridge, coincidentally. A lot of Cambridge stuff going on today, but I was in Cambridge and, doing a story on what have you, and then this one woman, she saw that I had the iHeartRadio, jacket on, and she goes, "Oh, iHeartRadio, I listen to like all these podcasts and stuff," and I go, "Hey, check out the Hub on Hollywood. We focus on the New England filmmaking happening here and in Massachusetts." And she was like, "I'm going to give that a listen." So be like that woman.
All right.
Be out there suggesting the podcast for other movie critics and movie lovers out there. Okay, that's our last pitch. Let's get into what everybody's been waiting for. The movie trivia, CineQuote of the night of the episode. Again, if you are unfamiliar, CineQuote is a daily movie quiz where you have 5 guesses at trying to figure out what the movie of the day is based on 5 quotes. The Sunday Stumper is the hardest one. Fortunately, it is not Sunday, so hopefully we build up our guess per game average, because it's gone down the past couple weeks. So, Jamie, without further ado, don't worry, we got this. I feel confident.
Okay, all right.
Without further ado, we will go into our first CineQuote in 3, 2, 1.
I love you.
You need the words?
Yes, I need them very much. If you ever say them, I'll never let you take them back.
Sounds
very
old.
old-timey.
Yeah. I don't know what it is yet, but okay.
I don't think this is what it is, but a guess doesn't hurt. I'm gonna guess Casablanca.
Okay. Give it a shot.
Okay, Casablanca submitting. I don't think it is, but fingers crossed. No. Okay. Don't worry. We have 4 more chances. Okay, we're going to go on to guess number 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Maybe I'm not such a high-class piece of property right now. But a 25% slice of something big is better than a 100% slice of nothing.
I think I may make another guess. I don't think it's this one, but What's that Jack Nicholson movie? Big Trouble. It's
In Little Italy?
no.
Big Trouble?
I think,
No.
Yeah, I think isn't like in Chinatown. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, there you go.
Not Little Italy. Big Trouble in Little China. I don't think that's what it is, but again, I'm gonna guess. Doesn't hurt to guess, unless you want to guess something else.
No,
Jamie?
no, you go for it. You go for it.
Okay.
I don't have a guess.
Okay, let's try it. Has that vibe? Has that kind of speaky vibe?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. No. Oh wait,
Okay.
that's the wrong movie. That's not Jack Nicholson. That's Kurt Russell. Which
Kurt
one is
Russell.
with Jack Nicholson? It's the one where
Oh, I'm not sure.
it's is it Chinatown? Is it? I don't want to guess again. I'll wait for the next quote, but
Let's go to the next quote. You can
yeah,
try
we'll go to the next quote. But it's Chinatown, the one I was thinking of. So not Big Trouble. Okay, guess number 3.
All right.
We're off to
All
a
right, here
great
we go.
start. Guess number 3 in 3, 2, 1.
I'm the best you ever seen, Fats. I'm the best there is. Now, even if you beat me, I'm still the best.
Stay with this kid. He's a loser.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I have no guesses.
I
I'm
still
so sorry.
don't know for sure. So I'm just gonna go with Chinatown again. I don't think
Okay.
it is it, but that's all I got. It has that kind of like noir kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Not Chinatown. Okay. Guess
All
number
right,
4.
next.
Lucky number 4 in 3,
We can do it.
2, 1.
I don't think there's a pool player alive. Shoots better pool than I saw you shoot the other night at Ames. You got talent,
So I got talent. So what beat me?
character.
I need to sharpen up my classical film knowledge.
I guess.
Do
Yeah.
you know, those listening, watching? Are we just completely ignorant on this era?
Well, it's not Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
I
did you
don't-
try not?
I don't know. I don't know enough of the old timey
Did you
movies.
just search
yeah.
that?
No, but I
Okay.
think it's pretty clear. It's not
Okay.
They didn't
So
play pool back then.
No. Let's skip this one, and we're gonna try our final guess.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Shoot pool fast, Eddie. I'm shooting pool fast. When I miss, you can shoot.
What's like a pool movie?
I don't know.
I can't think of any.
Why don't we write pool in here and see what pops up? We're just kind of cheating right now.
Pool party? No.
There's the
Deadpool.
swimming pool.
I think it might be Deadpool.
Yeah, I want to guess. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's
Alright.
a swimming pool because I think that's. I don't think a movie about playing pool
Yeah.
would be called The Swimming Pool. How about? I don't know.
I think we're gonna have to give up, my
I think we
friend.
might have to give up. I may have to give up. Dang it. Okay,
Oh,
let's give up. In 3, 2, 1. Do you concede? Tell me.
The Hustler,
The Hustler, 1961.
1961.
Would not have gotten that. Would not have gotten that. Did you get that? You
that's
watching
like
at
a
home or
Sunday
listening in your
stumper.
car? Yeah, that's pretty hard. I'm like, it's
That
not
was.
Sunday, right? No, it's not Sunday. Okay, well, we did not win a CineQuote, but I still believe we won in the life of the Hub on Hollywood. How about that?
Right.
I think it was a great episode.
Yeah.
Let's end with a bang still. So, again, big thank you to everybody who is tuning in, who is listening, who is watching. Big thank you again to Lenny Clarke and Max Isaacson who joined us on the Hub on Hollywood. We would love to have you
Incredible.
back, talk about your future projects and all your endeavors and all those other filmmakers, actors, other talent out there in New England. Give us a ring, shoot us an email. We would love to talk to you and invite you on the podcast and talk about your projects. But, Jamie, unless there's anything else you want to add, I think
I'm good, my friend.
let's wrap it up. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap on the Hub
I don't know
on.
why I sound so angry. For the Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. He's not over the CineQuote yet. We'll see you next week.
Bye.